Bonjour, bonjour. Hey there, friends. We are live. So excited. And we have a special guest today. We have an award winning jazz artist who has their own wine company, Flo Wines. So excited. So thanks for joining. So excited to talk about it. So much here. As you see, there's Flo Wines. We're flowing. Yep, that's me with my hand just randomly coming in. So excited. So we are here. We are live. Thanks for joining us today. Live from the District of Columbia. As you can see, the traffic patterns are good today. Good conditions. So we're excited. We are so excited. Thanks for joining. We are excited that our special guest is coming. We have Marcus Johnson with Flo Wines. He is a Cabernet Sauvignon. Oh, there he is. We have Marcus Johnson here. So we are excited to have him. And we're going to accept live from the car. Hey, 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 friend.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Hi, 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 hi. You are live
Hey,
from the
hey, hey.
car.
Oh man, it is one of these it's yeah, man, had a day where it was not my regular day to have my daughter and I jump at any opportunity to grab her. So we had to get some things for her birthday that's happening on Tuesday. So she has a birthday party this weekend, so we had to go out and get some party favors. So, no biggie, got it done.
Yes, well, we're excited about that, which I'm sad though you can't be drinking and driving because that's what the rose hour is about, but you'll be drinking later, I hope, right? Uh-oh, we have a little delay. That's all right. Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I
there you
can.
go. Okay. I was saying, well, too bad because you can't drink and drive, but hopefully later you'll have a drink.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Good, good, good. Because we're excited because we're going to be talking about Flow Wines, all the amazing things you've been doing, what you got coming up, because there's a lot of things happening in your life right now, and especially the birthday party.
Absolutely, man. So it's very exciting. It's good to have Chase, with me sitting and chilling in the car. And it's always good for her to see these types of things. And she goes through it with myself and her mom and we work, you know what I mean? So we have to make it happen. And that's really what flow is all about. After you're done all that stuff, it's not Miller time, it's time to get your flow on.
That's right. That's right. And as we're speaking of flow, I think people are like, wait, my last name is Johnson, your last name is Johnson. We don't know we're cousins, but we're probably cousins, right?
I'm gonna let you know we cousins.
Yeah, that's
Now,
right. We're
now we
cousins. We're
hold on.
cousins.
We're both attorneys too, right? And just
We're
like I
both
said, and not
attorneys.
we are cousins. We cousins.
That's right. That's right. We are definitely family because there's too many there's so many things that just make us familiar.
Right? I
So
mean,
we
yeah, yeah. That it's excellence. How about that? Yeah.
that's right. That's right. We are familiar. We are
Well,
family. Okay,
and
so
Nicole Johnson just popped in too and said, "Hey, cousins, what's up, cuz?"
right, what's up, cuz? And she owns a champagne company out in London. So that's definitely family as well.
I love it.
So
I love it.
we doing things worldwide. That's what Johnsons do. We're bringing you entertainment and beverages all around the globe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so we got to talk about flow first because flow is what I'm about to sip on. And you have an amazing wine brand, and it's called Flow. So I have the bottles here. I just cracked the rosé open, so I want to talk through what you have. So you got a Flo Wines, Flo Rosé California. What is this wine brand about? How did you come to it? Just tell me everything.
Flow is God, man. That's like a power pack question. Flow is part of a bigger brand. It is it came out of an outgrowth of just really being a musician. In the beginning of the 2000s, when everything just changed. We went from making lots of money every month to not making anything. And I've always been one who's just wanted to provide a service. I love making people smile with my music, et cetera, et cetera. So it forced me to really sit back and think. And it was funny. I saw Howard Schultz on CNBC this morning, and the founder of Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading his book on Common Ground, and he had talked about how he had just pivoted Starbucks. And the main question that they had to ask was, what business is Starbucks in? And they realized through their analysis that they weren't in the coffee business. And I know for some people, they're like, well, what are you talking about? And he figured out that they were in the third place business, meaning your home being the first place, your office being the second place, and they wanted to make Starbucks the third place. So that hit me over the head like a brick, and I was like, well, what business am I really in? And I figured out that I'm not really in the music industry. And honestly, each one of us that's in wine, we're not really in the wine industry either. I tell people, all the time, we don't sell wine, we sell the wine lifestyle, but it's even deeper than that. And I was so happy last night, or 2 nights ago, I started teaching entrepreneurship and entertainment law again at Howard. And one of my students was like, yeah, HU. And one of my students picked it up. She's like, if we're not in the entertainment industry and we're not in lifestyle, like therapy. And I was like, exactly. So we had this brand for lovers only that we were not really using, and I knew it wasn't scalable, and sat with the Lord and came up with, well, we have Flow, for love, then a couple hours later, it was for the love of. And we started with the lifestyle series of Flow CDs. And then as, that started to grow, it was just like my target demographic, basically they're women. And, I think that a great therapeutic, memorable experience would be some Marcus Johnson music paired with some Marcus Johnson wine and a candle and an experience live, et cetera, et cetera. And that was the beginning of it. And we had a brand out of Northern Virginia that we were working with that was pouring for us at our CD release parties. And I was like, look, what would it take to put together a private label brand? And they were like, in agreement. So we did that and started with the wine out of Northern Virginia and quickly moved to California with Delicato. And now we are partnered with a brand called WX in all Total Wines around the country. We ship direct. We are talking to some other pretty big things that, we're waiting on some word on right now. And, it continues to grow. So very excited. USA Today top 10 celebrity wine brand twice. So, we just pound the pavement.
Wow, that is amazing. So for the love of, it is a lifestyle entertainment, not just wine, but also like therapy. It's mood. It is essentially like just every day, just a good time, it feels like, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I can think of, the saying that is 5 o'clock somewhere, right? But actually, literally, wherever you are, it definitely gets to 5 o'clock at some part of the day. And that is, when you have worked your behind off for a day, or it's Thursday, and, it's girls' night, guys' night, time to chill, time to hang, date, chill out, cook, whatever. Why not be the one who can provide a kind of fundamental service for foundational service and the products associated with it for your target market, right? And, I say target market, that really depersonalizes it. It really is like the people that you just, like, you care about, man. You want to be a part of the fabric of the soul of the world. And in doing that, you know, it's great to be able to pull these things together. And, you have the bottles of wine there. We have QR codes on the back of all of our products where it ties it all together. So you get a bottle of wine, has a QR code that takes you to the landing page, which allows you to order our candles. It allows you to get our music. Basically, now we're giving the music away. Um, because when you stream it, or you're not selling CDs. When you stream it, we own the content, so we get the publishing and the streaming revenue from there. So here, take it, use it. You want a candle to go along with it? Here you go. And we're going to continue to add different products and then get you to our mailing list so that we can have you come out to my concerts. I mean, one brand that we're in we're a finalist in their global beverage program. I told them in the video, I was like, look, any brand can sell you wine. There's some great brands. They're brands much bigger than ours, but only Flo can give you the Flo experience.
It's an experience, and I'm having one right now as you drop that microphone, because like I'm drinking your rosé. Listen, I'm having an experience, and it is a very holy one. I appreciate your rosé. This is amazing, and it's a California rosé. Like, I know there's a lot of California rosés out there. There's some that are good. There's some better than the rest. But this is a really good California rosé. And you probably can't tell the color because there's a lot of pink in my home. Clearly, I like the color pink. But, like, this is a really great rosé. Do you want to talk about how you came up with this rosé? Because, like, I love a rosé. So, how did you come up with this?
Say, thus the rosé hour, right?
Yeah, thus the rosé hour.
I love it. And it's been the thing that's really been, it's been crushing it this summer. And it was kind of hard because I had to make a decision to pull our Moscato in order to get our rosé in the mix, because we wanted to relaunch with 3 varietals because it's hard enough to one basic. 2 is
Uh-oh, we got to wait a second. The little wheel is going.
Am I back?
Your wheel is turning. There you go. You're back.
Okay,
You're back.
I'm back. Yeah, so to get the 3rd varietal, it took a lot. And so I had to make a sacrifice. And I say a sacrifice for the Moscato because no matter where you go, and I don't care who you are, you can say whatever you want to say, but there's somebody on either side of you that wants a sweet herb tasting wine. And our Moscato was kind of designed differently too. It was a lot of people who liked our Moscato hated Moscatos because they were patently sweet. So the theory behind Flo is really Goldilocks-ish. It is just right. So with our rosé and talking to the winemakers, it's like, look, here's what I'm looking for. I don't want sweet. You can put a taste of, like, a touch of effervescence in it, but I want something that is not too sweet, but yet not too dry. Give me something that's kind of just right. And Kurt Lorenzi and the team, they were like, okay, we got you. And so we have a Barbera Grenache blend for our rosé. And I have to say that I had it last night, and I might have been listening to some of my new lo-fi music at the same time. And why? Because if I'm not digging it, how the hell can I ask you to dig it?
If you can't use your own supply, how can you get somebody else high?
Absolutely.
Probably a bad analogy with your kid in the car, but
no, but I got you.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I love it, and I like the combination of the rosé, and I can definitely see listening to lo-fi music with this because it's giving me that vibe. It's giving me like subtle, like just clean, just like very chill. Because there's some rosés out there where you're like, oh, where is the pool? Where's the turn up? I'm ready to pound this rosé. This, oh no, I need relax. I need just chill and a lo-fi like music. This would pair perfect with it. I am a fan. You killed that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Okay, so now you have a Chardonnay from California as well. And you probably can't tell, but I already killed it.
KILT it, right?
Killed, murder, DOA. Like, there's not a drop left in this bottle. It was amazing. So, how did you come up with this? And, like, what do you usually pair with this when you're listening to music and drinking this? Because I can tell you what I was listening to and why it's gone.
You know, to tell you the truth, that's almost like the Thursday, Friday kind of chill out vibe. I mean, if you listen to XM Chill, you have that, but it also goes, I mean, man, you put on some, you know, Robert Glasper with Michelle and DiGiacello and her, and you got a flow going on, you know what I mean? And again, the concept behind that is it's stainless steel fermented, with hints of like the wood chips and everything like that. So no malolactic fermentation, but it is not overly citrusy. Yeah, it's not oaky buttery, and I just go back to the Flo Goldilocks concept. I need something just right. There are enough buttery, you know, oaky Chardonnays out there from Napa. You know, we're producing out of Sonoma, Monterey Coast, all that. So let's change it up a little bit, like a blue ocean strategy. Let me go over here on the other side and let me kind of roll this. And you may, you know, some people are like, well, I like it buttery or I like it a little more oaky. That's absolutely great. We'll have something else for you, like our Paso Robles Cabernet, you know, that, you know, where if you like something that's a little bit more traditional, in style with the category, but still, you know, our Chard. You know, I definitely wanted it stainless steel. I wanted, you know, a Staven. I wanted the screw top. You know, to be able to, you know, save it longer. This is for, you know, my professional brothers and sisters out there. And again, I know it's my sisters, right? That come home from a hard day. You're an attorney, right? You could be a nurse. You could be a teacher. You know, you could be a caregiver. This is something that by the time you get home and get into your whatever clothing, you know, for chill out, it's ready for you. And that, again, is the concept behind the brand, just making sure that it fits within your paradigm. I'm not trying to make you, you know, fit other things into the wine's paradigm. And I think that that's what true partnership is. And, you know, product and service in the product and service industry. And again, I believe that we're not just providing a product to our consumers. I think we're providing a service of, let me help you create an entirely unique flow that is idiosyncratically yours.
Yes. No, I agree with that. And it was a rough day when I killed, murdered, DOA this. And I was listening to some good old Sade.
Yes.
I was smooth operatoring with this, okay? It gave me life. Bottle
I love it.
gone.
The kiss of life, the flow of life, baby.
Murdered. I was like, yes, Jesus, yes. Okay, so you also have this amazing Cabernet Sauvignon. So, like, how did you come up with this, and what do you pair with it?
Man, again, I'm gonna. It is.
That last question.
Yeah, it is. It is. To me, this is kind of my pride and joy because we had a red blend before, and you know, all of my wine supporters were like, "Oh, his red blend is great. It's approachable," you know, and that means like I don't really do red blends, but you know, I'll support a brother because it's good. Nobody says that about the cab. It is a Paso Robles cab that has, you know, without being too vulgar, it has some ass on it. You know what I mean? And that is like, that's how I like my music. That's how I like everything. I'm just saying, it's like you again, something that doesn't necessarily need to be decanted. You can if you want to. However, 30 minutes after getting off work or winning that case that you did,
Yeah.
or, as you were working on the IRA, after getting that bill signed, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And again, it's the whole flow philosophy of partnering and pairing experiences with our wine and kind of the vibe. I had this day. Flow is my therapy. Not I need to pair this with a steak and or this. You can pair it with whatever you want to. But what I like about our stuff, most importantly, is that you can just pair it with yourself. You get your wine glass and you pop that joint open and get your flow on.
I love how you did that and you just flow on. Because like it is a lifestyle. And I like that, each one can go with whatever, right? But like you can set moods with it. And like usually like a lot of people who are, I would like to say, are new to wine, they're not into red, right? I feel
Yeah,
like red could be intimidating, but yet red is like the number one selling wine out there, right? Because once you
yes,
find a good red, you're hooked. And I feel like this may be the opportunity for a lot of people who need an introduction to red. This may be
yeah,
your go-to because, to your point, you can just flow with it. Whatever
yeah,
you feel like, whatever you need, it's a good like, hey, I'm trying to understand what red does for me. And it's year round. You don't have to wait till the winter to drink red. Because I think that's
uh,
another misconception too. People are like, oh, it's too hot outside for a red. I'm gonna start sweating. No, you probably should check with your doctor about your blood pressure. That's another thing. So
yeah. I
that's
mean,
something else.
absolutely. I'm one who believes that it's supposed to be personal.
Yeah.
And again, what I'm doing is providing, these products and these accompanying kind of services where you pour our wine fits you. What do you
Yeah.
want to do? Tell me how you pair it. Well, I'm not a wine aficionado. I'm not a da 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 da. Da. You're you. I'm selling to you. And I had a very interesting conversation, with the team at Total Wine and More as you started to see them push out develop their sweet wine sections.
Mm.
And the head of wine buying at the time was like, our issue is this. We've been trying to move people towards, other things. What we need to recognize is we have not just an incremental revenue producer, we have an exponential revenue producer if we start directing people and giving them exactly what they want. And
Right.
so, I started off, I really wasn't a drinker until I got to law school. And then I had a buddy of mine.
Don't worry, guys. He's coming back. You know how those calls be with wine aficionados. But we're talking with Marcus Johnson, award winning jazz artist and award winning winemaker. And we are just so excited. He's taking a quick call. Don't worry, he's coming back. About his amazing. Oh, see, I was doing a quick commercial break for you.
Yo, yeah, and here's what's the best part about this and why I'm so happy that I got my daughter today, right? Because this is the real stuff where you have to use flow where, I didn't know. There's another one. I didn't know that her mom wasn't home. I'm dropping her off. I got to take her to the office. Last minute pickup, having to take her to CVS to get nail kits for her Saturday sleepover. Sleepover with her friends. Then we go through math and we talk through the day and get a chance to put my eyes on her. And this is the real executive life that people don't understand, especially when you're co-parenting, that you have to do. And I mean, Chase will tell you, from back in the day, I mean, even through COVID, going outside, making sure we walked, understanding she knows flow one day is hers should she want it. And if she doesn't, it's cool, as well. Um,
You want it. You
demanding,
want it. You want it. You want it, honey. You want it.
hey, Yeah, and again, I don't want to put any pressure on her. I think that, Chase is brilliant. I wish I was a quarter as smart as she was when I was her age. We have conversations now where I'm like, I have to let her know, like, I'm just proud to be your dad. No matter what, I'm proud to be your dad. But having these conversations, I'm a fan of yours. And I think that that's something that, that may be missing in our community a lot, but she gets to see it. And I see it when I go pick her up in the moms, because I'm really the only dude picking my daughter up, from, the school from the pickup line. But this is what Flow was about. It's about all of that. And then needing, today, I was probably, Chase, would you say I was a little hangry? Yeah, I was a little angry, and I probably need to go back home and maybe have a little glass and chill out for a little bit. But these are the real things, man. This is how you build a brand. You build it one interrupted call or interview at a time. You build it, one math and division homework at a assignment at a time, or what did we have the other day? Opening ceremony at school or back to school night at a time. And when you're doing all that, sometimes you need therapy and sometimes you just need to celebrate. And that is
Yeah.
another component of it. Get your flow on, telling people I did this for the love of my daughter. I get up every day and I get out here sacrificing, because it's my responsibility to do that for her. And the only thing I ask is that when she has kids or whatever she decides to do, and of course I'm talking to her right now, you know that, right? That all I ask of her is, all I ask is that she does the same thing.
That's right. That's right. You're doing all this so that her life is a little bit easier, so that when she makes decisions, that it's not out of some sort of panic or some sort of need, but because it's a desire and because she wants to. So
And I tell people all the time, I can't make her do anything, and I can't stop her from doing anything. But if I can get her to think 3 seconds before she does that thing that she's not supposed to do, that's my job.
yeah,
It's her life. I tell her, her mom's a Harvard undergrad and business school grad. I'm a Howard and Georgetown law and business grad. Those are our degrees. And don't I tell you all the time, baby, that this is your life? And I don't even have to tell her.
we missed that part. We missed that
Uh,
part though, because that was key right there. What did you tell her?
no, I said, don't I always tell you that we have our degrees and that this is yours, right? That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
No, and that's important. That is very important. And I hope she's hearing this. I want to hear her be like, "Yes, Dad."
she's a little, well, she's shy when she wants to be. She can wave. Say hi, Chasey. Oh, there's a hand.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a little
This is
tired.
great. Well, this is
Yeah,
great,
she's
and
tired, and I know.
we enjoy her
I'm
being here
sorry.
too. And no, we appreciate her being here. And this is what it's all about too. Like, I appreciate you showing all of this, because I think a lot of people just see like the glitz and glamour of things, and they're like, oh, here you are performing. Oh, you're at an award show. Oh, you're doing a tasting, and here you are pouring. But they don't see you in this car at pickup line and like baking cupcakes and doing all these other things and doing homework and going to
Dealing
CVS
with
to pick out
attitude. Hey,
nails.
dealing with attitude and doing your best, decompressor so you don't strangle somebody. You know what I mean? I mean, it's all of that. And there's a guy out there. I think I told you I day trade as well. And one of the guys, he's like, everybody talks about their glory, but what you want to find out is their story. And there's no truer statement than that, man. And that's it. You have to really look behind the scenes and understand, even when Chase becomes successful. Like, we used to read this book when she first started reading Grace for President. And the reason I read that is because I talked her through, how I want you to know that if you choose to be president, you can be president. But if you choose to be something else, it's your life. I don't need you to be a doctor. Your aunties and, uncles are all doctors and lawyers, right? I don't need you to do that. What I need you to be is happy. And I need you to be committed to changing the world. And Chase, her first 6-year-old, what was it, persuasion paper was how to convince the world to stop polluting and killing animals because, in the profound words of a 6-year-old, if we don't watch out for what we're doing to the earth, it's going to get mad at us.
Oh.
And if we look at everything in that bill you just helped pass, right? If you think about it, we're understanding as adults that maybe we need to be listening to the 6-year-olds a little bit more because the earth is getting mad at us. Ask the people out in California, right? People on the coast. And so I just want her to think, man. If I can get my daughter to think a little bit, she'll be so far ahead of everybody else. And not to be entitled. Yes, you're going to one of the best schools in the country. Yes, you're going to go to even better schools as you grow up. But you're not entitled to anything. You got to get your butt up and study. And, and not for us. It's your life, baby girl. This is what you got to do. This is how you have to do it. And that's it's part of the flow story, Renee, and what we talked about and the things that you need to do. And how you take flow as an aspirational story and Marcus Johnson and what we've done with the brand, sticking with it for 12 years, man. This has been hard. This is the hardest thing I've done. Put me through first year law school 12 more times, instead of dealing with the heartbreak that we've had to deal with sometimes here. But a funny thing happens when you have a little bit of fun, love the process, and you organize with other people. That is how you get your FLO on.
Yes. Come on, Minister Johnson. I'm here for that. Deacon Johnson. Yes. Preach to the masses. I'm here for this. So, okay. With all this flowing, with all this inspiration, and we are here for all of, your daughter's, forward mobility and movement, and I know she's going to do great things in the future. And I think there's a lot of inspiration that's flowing out there for future generations, right?
Yes.
How are you then investing with Flow to ensure that we're continuing this engagement for generations to come?
Well, number one, I have been teaching at Howard for a little bit now, off and on, and I'm back on. And to me, that is seeding back into the community. And I laugh and I tell them because I'm definitely not doing it for this little paycheck that they are giving me every semester. I mean, if I was a full professor, it would be, worth quote unquote the money. But as an adjunct, and I'm getting paid more as a consultant, I'm making more than most, but it's like, it's really almost like your gas money so that you can be here for the kids. And we had our first class the other day, and taking all of this knowledge and just sharing it. I mean, I think that is our legacy is so important, and telling the true story about things, and not just like in my book, I talk about not only my successes, but I have a chapter in my book called "For the Love of Crying," and it's about a grown ass man that broke down, named me, Marcus Johnson, over like it got to be too much, and I needed to let it go. And I was cool with and do all that I can to see back to other men in their mental health to understand that emotions are a natural part of who we are. And if you're blocking that, you're cutting off your connection to your higher power.
Yeah.
I do not, that is not being strong. Being weak is trying not to show your emotions. Being strong is saying, hey, I have my emotions. I lost my stepfather 2 weeks ago. And my daughter came to the service, And it was the first time that she seen me cry. And you could tell that it had a profound effect on her. And I wasn't trying to hide it. I don't need to hide that I cry. I'm a real man with real feelings and love to my stepfather like my dad. And I want her to know that it's okay to have pain and hurt. You know, who told you, you're not supposed to hurt? Who told you this shit was easy? This
Yeah.
is hard out here, man. So when you know that, it makes it easier to fly through the turbulence. Oh, that's just turbulence.
Yep.
You know, these kids out here that are and people who are, you know, making decisions and end of life decisions, as my father said as a brilliant psychologist, son, that is a permanent solution for a temporary problem. And, you know, if they're not prepared, they haven't been faced with adversity, they haven't seen truth. No, it's supposed to look this way and that way. Look, if you don't feel like being elegant one day, put on your slippers. And if you have rollers in your hair and whatever you need to do, baby, and go out for a walk. You know, that is, to me, that's the Flow legacy. And so, you know, as we continue to grow the brand, I see you at the Flow Vineyard one day, chilling at the Flow Tasting Room and Restaurant, listening to additional lifestyle CDs and music with the Flow brand, sipping on some Flow wine with the candles of the Flow scents, getting your damn flow on, making your day better, making your life better, one sip and sound and scent at a time.
I'm here for that. And I cannot wait because I need a vacation and I need some more flow in my life. I definitely need all of that. So let's hurry up that process.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
So what else do you have in the pipeline? I know you have new music that's coming out very frequently. I know that you have events upcoming. So like what is it that people can like purchase, connect with, visit, shop, hear, and how can they do it?
Well, I ask everyone to one follow, you know, Marcus Johnson 360. Then I also ask, you know, that you follow Flow Wine 360 and join our mailing list so that you can come to our events because we're having fun. We're at 1010 Wines in LA. In 2 weeks, we'll be with Leilani in San Francisco a couple of days. Before that, at Magnolia Street Wine Lounge. We're doing, you know, this weekend we'll be at the Silver Spring Jazz Festival and Loca Vina's 3rd-year anniversary in downtown Silver Spring. So we always have these great events with DC Wine Fest coming up, you know, stuff like that, things that we'll be working together on. Then the other thing that I ask is that you share. Like if you like what we do and if you are down for a great rosé, a great Cabernet Sauvignon, a great Chardonnay, please go to Total Wine near you or go to our website and deliver. I mean, get it delivered. We have direct to consumer to every state that you can actually deliver to. It's like 38 states, almost 40 states that you can deliver to. And then if you're an executive at a business and say you do real estate or you sell cars or whatever, and you have a commitment to support African American businesses, I ask that you support Flow and other African American wine and spirits brands by using our product for your premium. And, you know, I think Flow is particularly positioned for that, for the love of your new house, for the love of your new car, for the love of your new, you know, nuptials, whatever that may be, that you insert us and you can put a note, hey, from me to you, great brand, you know, your great people deserve great brand. Great new move deserves a, you know, a nice little flow for the love of you. However you want to do it, you can personalize your notes, but use our stuff as your premiums. And, you know, and just spread the word because you all make us. You know, we don't make ourselves. We had the question at Howard the other day, like, what is branding? And they went on everything, and I was like, no. They're like, well, what is it? It's relationships, man. You know, build the relationships and use your relationships and network. Everything else, if you take care of people, people take care of you. And that is that's so important.
That is very true. And I like to express this to a lot of young people because they think, oh, like Coca-Cola is a brand. No, the man who created Coca-Cola is a brand, right? Like
Absolutely.
he was able to get the resources, the capital, the relationships, right? It was based upon who he was and how he treated people. And he wouldn't be who he was if he wasn't who he was. So it's always about treating people fair, treating people kind, treating people nice, because you never know when you need people. So it's very, very important. And don't
And
be fake about it.
and when you mess up, and not if, but when you mess up, own it.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I mean, being a co-parent, trust you, I have to come up all the time like, yo, I made a mistake on my schedule. Oh my God. Hold on 1 second.
And this is a great commercial break as we talk about Flo Wines yet again. So we have the rosé that we sampled tonight, which is a California rosé, very delicious. And also they have the Cabernet Sauvignon that we are not going to sample tonight because the rosé is taking me, y'all. It is very delicious. Oh, we're going to do the last one, the Chardonnay, which is amazing. I already had it and paired it with some Sade, and the bottle is gone. So check it out. It's at Total Wines, and there's a QR code on the back, so you can also purchase candles and other items that Flo sells, and music as well that is free that you can stream while drinking. Now back to the interview.
Hey, I'm sorry. This is give me 2 seconds. This is our we're just dropping off. Say bye, Chase.
Bye. So that was our other interviewee tonight, who was giving us motivation and inspirational quotes for the future as well. And of course, Marcus Johnson is Cousin Johnson. He is an award-winning jazz artist and award-winning winemaker. So we're excited for you all to join us tonight. We're finishing up the interview. He's just dropping off his daughter really quickly. So thank you all for sticking here with us. This has been so amazing and inspirational because we're excited. And we are letting you guys know that tonight, Marcus and I, so my cousin and I, are going to be hosting some events here in the Washington, D.C. area. And hopefully we'll be able to take them nationwide. But we have more details coming soon. So definitely follow Marcus Johnson 360. Don't forget to follow the Rosé Hour podcast because you don't want to miss these events. There are going to be some dynamic, amazing wine pairing, jazz, amazing views, good food, and amazing time. Just letting people know about what we may have soon coming. So.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be announcing soon. So
yes.
The last thing I want to just kind of talk about before you go is you are an award-winning jazz artist. And I think people are like, wait, you do wine, you're an attorney. I also learned a fun fact about you the other day when we were chatting in person. You are becoming a pilot. Like, what do you not do? And then how did you get into all of these different like avenues? Like, who taught you to do all of these things and be so dynamic, Mr. Black Man?
Jesus,
He saves.
Well, I tell you, I was the kid that everybody. Let me tell you like this. So you remember the movie Boomerang?
Yes. Oh,
you remember David Allen, right? So you remember David Allen Greer's character?
Yes.
All right. So I was called him. And when I was in college, because I was different, man. I see Wayne Bruce, we jumped on the phone from spur of the moment, and these guys saw me when I was really young, and so I was able to. I knew that either I play now or I play later, but you have to pay and play. So I figured that if I paid now and I went through and I got my JD and I got my MBA and I taught and I traveled and I took the bumps and bruises and I got the experience and I read and read some more and then read even more, that I could play a little bit more as I got older. So while most people were having fun and partying and at the age of 21, I was getting called names and, as Dre said, working to pull my label off. And then, I got my first deal. I was able to secure funding from Bob Johnson to put together a jazz label when I was 29. It's my first multi-million-dollar deal. And, a lot of the music that you still hear on XM Watercolors is stuff that came out of our studio in out of Silver Spring, Maryland. And then, so, I had that experience. And I talk about it all in my book. It's the things that you were able to create. It's the things that you lost. I don't have my studio anymore. It's pivoting. And like, I think life should be fun. I think life really is like flying an airplane, where the wind can blow you certain ways, but you do have to take control of it. Sometimes you'll lose control, but generally the stability of the plane will get you back. I believe in the idea of, sometimes when it gets too rainy, then you need to pull over under the underpass and take a break. It's okay to stop. And so I think while everybody else is trying to define themselves in other people's terms, I'm learning how to fly. While everybody else is trying to figure out what society says to them and how they can get into this or that club or this, that, and the other, I'm learning new math techniques to teach my daughter different ways to divide and do multiplication, to put together sentences, and even Sebastian, I live with my girl and her son, it's like, working with him, I had to do the who, what, where, when, why, because they didn't do it in school. Mm-hmm. And if he's 8 and doesn't know subject, verb, relationships.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. If you don't know that, you don't know what adjectives are, you're at a disadvantage. So how do we make that simple? Well, number one, I went to, you're going to laugh at me, but Schoolhouse Rock, and pulled up the YouTubes of like, I unpack my adjectives, conjunction, junction,
What is your function? Yes.
Right. So these are things that I did with Chase. And so like, these are all the things where this is how I get my value. And yeah, I'm trading now. And I am running out of time sometimes where I'm like, but like I told my students, the most valuable thing we have that we're not told about is our time. So the most valuable budget that you have is your calendar. Your calendar is set up on the same Excel database format as an Excel profit and loss statement. You start out with 24 hours, y'all, every single day. How are you going to use it? And, students are like, yo, we're going to do this. And I'm like, really? So, so what part of the day are you going to do this? Let's divide these 12 things into one day. So you can only spend this, and you still have to sleep, right?
You gotta eat. You gotta go to the bathroom, and people don't think about those things.
Yeah. And then, hold up, and then you have to have fun, right? I play golf, and people are like, well, how do you do it? Well, I choose not to do things that are going to take away from my time in a negative way. I can spend as much time with my family as I need to. I can spend as much time with my daughter as is needed. And then there's sometimes I'm telling Chase, Daddy has to do this. I gave you your time. I need my time now. Love you to death. Even when she was younger, I put a post out on Facebook and everybody was like, one woman hit me back, was like, Marcus, she's now, I think she was like 5. Get your almond milk, put it in a bowl, put the cereal out on your island, and tell her this is what 6 o'clock looks like. Don't open Daddy's door before this. You know what she did? Chase went in, would get her cereal, pour it in the thing, get her spoon, and I would always smile because I would turn over, making sure she's okay. But like, she would watch TV in the living room, and at 6:01, knock, knock, knock.
That's right.
Discipline, man. So I had 2 great parents, and I had 2 great step parents. I had a great community, and this is a choice. How I live is a choice. I'm not entitled. It is not easy. I have to drive an hour to get to the airport because I'm supporting the African American flight school in Prince George's County, not the one right around the corner in Montgomery County. I believe in the guy. I believe in them. These are choices. Doing wine, doing these types of events like we're talking about doing, seating back into Howard University, seating into the other universities where I speak, doing TED Talks. Like, I don't get paid for that. You know what I'm saying? I do this because just like my stepfather a couple of weeks ago and my dad 7 years ago, there's going to be one day I'm not going to be here. And the most incredible thing that I could ever have happen is for somebody to hit my daughter and say, you don't know me, but I knew your dad. And this made a difference in my life when he did this or played this, or he showed me that I can be African American and male and go to the best schools or just go to school. I can live my own passion. I can follow my own dreams. I can have a little bit of fun or a lot of bit of fun, because I tell people work hard and play harder. He taught me that I could do it all so long as I took the time to schedule it out properly so that I got rest, I took care of my health, and I took care of the people and those things in my life that mattered. That's flow. That's why all this is easy. I don't have to read this or write it. And people are like, well, you just did that interview like this. It's who I am.
You know,
right? Roosevelt Johnson said, son, the beauty about you is that you tell the truth. And the beauty about the truth is you don't have to remember it.
I mean, that's an amazing quote. I do love me some Roosevelt. That's a whole nother podcast episode in itself because he's underrated in quotes. But I just believe in like the truth of how with flow. I love how it's a flow people are writing right now. It's a lifestyle. It really is. And you really do like just live in your existence, because there's so many, and especially in Black men, that don't have that ability or feel that they don't have the ability to be themselves, right? They have to put on airs, they have to perpetrate, project, be all these things, because one, they don't even know who they are. But to hear and know it is good to see. And hopefully, you know, there's someone out here who's watching this or who hears your voice and hears you when you're talking this story, that one day is like, you know what, I believe in this brother and maybe I could walk in my true self as well. So thank you for sharing that, because I think that we need to hear more Black men, especially, talking about who they are, what they've been through, their experiences, and being unapologetically okay with it.
Yeah.
You know?
And being unapologetically okay of their failures too, right? I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, you know, African American men are taught that, you know, it's on the one hand, you're taught you're not shit. And on the other thing, it's like, yo, you're not shit. Meaning that, you know, even when you try, you shouldn't even try because, you know, you're not going to do it right. And if you don't do it right and this, that, and the other, and, you know, I mean, how many kids hear you're just like your father, you know, this, and I was always like, I'm cool with that, Mom. You know what I mean? And my mom and I have a great relationship, but my mom respects me and I respect her, and especially as adults. And my dad and I had some pretty knockout, drag down, you know, arguments as well. Mainly our parents do this out of fear and or the fact that they didn't get the guidance and support that they needed in our communities at the same time. And so one of the things that I unapologetically say about myself is that I am a young African-American male advocate. And I see my boy Rico on here, cool Papa Rico, one of my golf buddies, but also another PhD. And we go into the community and talk to young men, because I think absolutely we did exactly what we should be doing for our women. And I see it every time I have a class at Howard, in that 90 to 95% of my students are women. But that's a problem.
Agreed.
Right? And my thing is that I would rather teach 36 students, 18 of which were male, you know what I'm saying, than have the ones that I do now. And I have a couple. I have two men in my class, guys in my class, out of about 22 students. And I'm teaching entertainment law and business at a major institution where most of my students are mass communications and business administration majors. Therefore, that to me is a pretty good sample size being
Oh, possibly.
somewhat of a researcher statistician, looking, that's a pretty good sample size. And you're like, for in a needed class, and you're like, okay, so we got this stuff we have to do. But what I do tell these guys is, number one, you can call me anytime. Call me when you need me. Rico does the same. I see Ashley on here does the same. We have to be available. But we also have to know when we look in the mirror that no matter how we come, so long as we come authentically, that's good enough. You don't have to come with a PhD. You don't need a JD MBA from Georgetown. So you don't need to go to Howard. You could be whatever, but if you come authentically as an authentic male in person, that's all you need to do in your community. And for anybody to ask you to do anything else is disingenuous on their part, right? So
I
you need
agree.
to have a whole another conversation as it relates to how do we just respect each other's existence? And it starts in everyone's mirror, because you can't be cool with yourself and be condescending to someone else.
Because it's a reflection of you. And before we go, I gotta throw this out there, because this is something I'm gonna put out there in the ether now, because this has been in my heart for the last year. And something I want to do at work. And maybe this is the moment God is like, hey, this is the moment. Hopefully no one takes the idea and does not include me in it. But I'm gonna say it, and it's recorded. So here goes. If you ever look at studies and grant programs, right, especially when it comes to small business or any type of large grants, there's a dissection within the Black community. And we know why. It's always grants for Black women and never for Black men. And more particularly, if there are grants for Black men, it's formerly incarcerated, veterans that are disabled. It's something that has happened that's traumatic. And it's not earth-shattering or something that can help them. It's never for a Black man that's just been on the beaten path, that's done good, who's been trying to be just a good guy, right? But in any other demographic, they never separate grants. So it'll be an AAPI grant, and anybody, whether you're male, female, binary, doesn't matter your gender. Hispanic, doesn't matter your gender. Indigenous population, tribal, doesn't matter your gender. But when it comes to Black, it's only Black women. So now we see a surge in Black women who are, like you said in your classes, there's more Black women here. There's more Black women. They're the number one demographic of small business owners. We're number one in colleges. We're a growing demographic financially, but we aren't bringing our Black men along. So I would like to create a grant program for Black men.
Yeah.
Same criteria like everyone else. I don't want to say because you have an ailment or because something is wrong, then you can be entered into this grant program. I want you to get the grant because you need the grant. And I feel like we need to do more for Black men, to your point, to bring them along, because what we're seeing is a separation financially on the racial wealth gap, but the gender wealth racial gap within our Black community too. So I'm throwing that out there because I think it's something we need to know.
Man, absolutely. And teaching, us the things we need to know about, like success and generational wealth and creating it, how we think it's icky to get life insurance. Yet, we feel bad. We feel bad. Well, I would assume that if you're looking down on your family, you feel kind of irresponsible when you see your family that could have had a life insurance policy, a premium paid to them, a benefit paid to them, had you just done it. Yet, and to understand how to put that in a trust where you can then leverage it to get the things that you need to get because of the value, the future value of your life insurance policy. Like, these are things that in other communities and primarily other socioeconomic groups, and I think it's more economic than anything else, they do this, right? but we have the ability to do this, but we stick our money under the bed because, well, I don't trust the bank. There's something in the bank that's going to do da da da. Okay, maybe so,
But historically, I get why, right?
yeah, I
Historically,
get it.
banking institutions, and I get it. But that's why I think now we need to have these conversations, to your point. And I think we need to, oh God, the liquor's kicking in. Uh, this how you know I've been drinking, because then I go Sister Soldier on you. But I think to the point where I think you're going, I mean to cut you, but I think this is where we need for our younger generation who does understand banks, who are opening CDFIs, who are opening, alternative banking and fintech like institutions that can come in and talk to our older generations and help, right? Because we're seeing grandma with the house, and grandma loses the house because she didn't, pay past taxes, and it was only a few $1,000s, but she owes nothing on the home. So now the whole family lost the house.
I mean, not only that, these young kids now, and especially some of these cats from the hood, if you see who's out here really working on Forex, the foreign exchange, currencies and options trading and things of that nature, people are like, well, that's gambling. You are out of your mind if you think that the stock market in and of itself in the United States, the entire economy is not a gamble. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. So you have your gambles, and then grandma could be at home instead of, watching whatever she was watching on TV, sitting in front of some Japanese candles or some Hikanashi candles, coming up with some type of reversal strategy using some exponential moving averages to not only pay her rent, or to pay her mortgage, but to look at ways to leverage and build and buy more property. You know what I mean? These are things where, again, at the end of the day, it's not how we generally talk to one another. But these young kids are like, yo. The reason there are 2 million jobs open is because these young kids are like, so you want me to come in and work for you when if I take my time and learn how to trade US dollar, Japanese yen, I might be able to make what you want to pay me in a week in a day? Oh, yeah, okay.
And I don't have to deal with disrespect, travel, worry about parking, worry about all
absolutely
these weird things that happen in a workplace. No, thank you.
That's it. I mean, and it goes to everything else that we do in this, the gig economy. And so I don't even think they price this stuff. I mean, as we have taken this from wine, but this is what you do over Flow. Check it out.
Yes.
This is what Flow is for. Get your bottle. Again, Rico and I and Ashley and I and some of the other people who are on here that I know that were, partners of mine, this is what we do. We get a couple of sips in, and then we start solving the problems of the world, but we're really doing it. Like, we're really seeding into this. My students call me back and say, thank you for what you taught me. And it's what it is. But I think that is how we need to go back and re-educate, not just having the grants, but more people like me going back and saying, I'm here because it's my responsibility to tell you about intellectual property. By the way, anything that is not your skin that you have on your body is protected by intellectual property, and somebody made money licensing it to somebody else who actually produced it. What wine bottles, your flowers that are there, your black dress, your glasses, your earrings. I think it's earrings, or your headpiece. The earpiece. The and I see what you did over there with the blue capital in the background. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these are things. The lights there. Somebody has the intellectual property to that. Oh, well, it's just intellectual property. Yeah, it's worth billions of dollars.
Money.
Trillions of dollars. And so teaching us that it's one thing to be able to play basketball like Michael Jordan. But it's a whole nother thing for Michael Jordan to have to depend on you to run his brand.
Yep.
And I know the guys who do that. Right? And it's one thing to be able to play football like somebody or play music like somebody, but it's something else to be able to understand what it is to take that intangible, turn it into a tangible thing, and then to figure out the way that you all exploit it versus being exploited.
Yeah.
That is, honestly, that is the key to our freedom. It ain't out here just in the bills. It's not out here begging for, respect. It is saying, hey, self, we're going to go out here and figure this out for ourselves and our community. And if we can do it within ourselves, in the mirror, then it has an effect on your family. Then it has an effect on your community. Then it has an effect as you become a part of the soul of the world. And that is how we need to think. And can't nobody do it for you. Jesus, y'all, woke you up this morning. Jesus made your heart beat, your brain, operate, your eyes see, your ears hear. I think sometimes that Jesus and the Father and everybody else up there is looking down like, well, damn, I gave you life this morning. What are you going to do? And I think that is something that's very important for us, to discuss. And again, we totally moved off the wine thing, but I believe that.
But I think this was important. Like and I've been drinking. So this is important, and this goes to show you with flow, you start flowing literally. Like the ideas start popping in, and like, man, I feel like I could write a whole thesis right now or dissertation on this whole entire topic. I'm not going to. But I could, because the ideas are flowing. This is some good juice, and like I'm literally like in a wavelength of thought of creation. But like this is an amazing conversation where I think there's so much that could continue out of this, and I think there's definitely a part two. Maybe we bring in your friends in this conversation and really talking about how do we create generational wealth, and how we flow into it with flow. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And, I have to give a shout out. I don't think she's here, but I'm going to give a shout out to Fern Stroud at Black Vines, because she made sure that I got back in contact with you. And we haven't even started to do what we're going to do. So I appreciate her for that. And I really appreciate what you're doing for everyone out here, Renee, and what you've done for us in just a couple of weeks, and what we're thinking about, what we're going to do for our experiences, and maybe even having the Rose and Flow conversations going forward. I appreciate being able to tell my story my way, and that you're sharing your supporters and colleagues and community with us, because we can't do this on our own. So I really sincerely appreciate you and everybody who's been here, and been listening. And I look forward to you all coming out. I mean, I'll be at Keystone Corner in Baltimore coming up. Like I said, I'll be in LA, San Francisco the next 2 weeks. I come back, I'll be in North Carolina, Atlanta. So I really hope you can come out and enjoy the wine and the jazz, but we have a bunch of stuff to do. I appreciate you.
No, and shout out to Fern. So amazing. If you don't follow Black Vines, follow them as well. Black Vines and an _ amazing, out of California. Super, super dope. And they have the longest running Black wine festival in the country. So you definitely want to follow and stay in tune and connected, because she knows everybody in the space. So shout out to the Black Vines and to Fern. Thank you so much for everything. And thank you, Marcus, cousin. I appreciate you. You are so amazing. And I'm so, so, so excited for all the amazing things we're about to do and partner and execute and getting this amazing flow flowing. I don't know why I just did that, but I felt like it was like a river I just did. But we're going to be flowing together and doing some dynamic things here and across the country. And thank you for joining tonight. I know you got to get home, so we're going to leave you with your drive home. And we'll chat about Saturday. So stay tuned for more, because we'll be live on Saturday.
Hey, I love it. I love you all too, and everybody sending love on the chat. Thank you so much, Rico and crew, Aaron, and everybody else. We love you back, and we need your support. Keep telling your friends to tell friends. And again, Renee, I can't thank you enough. And on that note, I will turn these lights off and getting back to the crib. I got some trades I got to check in on.
Yes, get to that flow. Thanks, everybody. Bye.